Chris, defeat today. Did you probably pay for the performance in the first 45 minutes tonight?
I think so. I think we were better in that second half. It's a difficult pitch to play on. They played very much to their strengths, a lot of power and pace, and they played very direct. And we needed to make sure in that first half period that we looked after the ball a little bit better and perhaps played in the areas that wasn't going to benefit them.
Saying that, even though you were only 1-0 down, you had a chance to get back into the game, and you did.
Yes, and we did, and probably the most disappointing thing is that having fought hard to get back into the game in that second half, and I thought we certainly showed spirit in that period. We needed to keep the score at 1-1 for a longer period of time, and then sort of 3-4 minutes later you find yourself 2-1 down, albeit from a fabulous strike, but we've got to defend better on both goals.
It's a couple of times now you conceded quite quickly after scoring. How much of a concern is that? It's
a concern when we concede goals, and particularly when we felt we could have done something about it. You've got the lad Mackie who's can strike a ball. He's done that all his career, and we can't allow him to get that sort of time and space. So it's a difficult one, because at that stage then you're having to take chances, you're having to throw bodies forward, and at that stage it probably could have gone either way. We could have got back in the game, because I thought we had to be quite adventurous, but of course they could have capitalised on the spaces that we were leaving. But I thought it was a fairly sort of scrappy type game. The pitch wasn't the best, but we knew that before we came here. But these are the sort of games where you have to dig deep, and if you need to get a result in whichever way you do, then that's what you have to do.
You nearly could have snatched a point at the end there with Chris O'Grady's chance.
Yes, and there weren't going to be many chances in the game. They had a goal-mouth scramble, which obviously David Stockwell done well on, I think, on 2 occasions, but apart from that there weren't many clear-cut chances. They had the better of the first half, I think we have to admit that, but I thought we showed spirit second half, but perhaps in the areas where we just needed to show a little bit more quality, we didn't.
We talked about it a little bit already, about the difference between the home and the away form. Chris, how do you go about trying to address that?
Just keep working as hard as we can. I think the plus is that we're very close. Away from home there isn't anybody that's beaten us by, certainly if I'm talking about my time, by more than the one goal, and I could probably say that we didn't deserve to lose at Bolton. 2 good draws, of course, at Sheffield Wednesday and Cardiff, but we want to be winning games, and of course if you're winning some games away from home, it's taking a little bit of pressure off your home form, but we just need to keep working as hard as we can.
You made a lot of changes tonight, full debut for Manuel Ledesma. What did you make of his contribution?
I thought he was in there. I thought he showed some good quality at times. I think for the type of player that he is, it's a difficult type pitch, and maybe a difficult type game for somebody that plays the way he does. But he was instrumental in of course, getting us the penalty. He does have an ability on the ball, but I think he was just part of a performance that was just short of what we needed tonight.
Did you want to give him a chance, because he has limited opportunities and he's only on a short-term loan?
Yes, and I think he's deserved it. He's deserved it by what he's shown in training. I have brought him in on loan, but it was also an opportunity to. We have a lot of games. And we go into a series of games, of course, at the weekend, midweek, and then the following. And what you have to do is you have to make changes. And I certainly, looking at the performance and the result today, I don't think there's anything to do with the changes that we made, because I thought Kasky did quite well at times, and I thought he showed really good energy. Greg certainly deserved an opportunity. It's also an opportunity for Kasinga to get 90 minutes under his belt. So for me, I think that the changes were right. It's just that we wasn't good enough on the day.
No Dale Stephens tonight. He's been sort of coming on as a sub. Is that an injury?
Yeah, he just felt something very slightly on Tuesday, so he hasn't trained a week. We could have involved him a day. We could have done, but this is a lad that's been out for some 10 months, and what we couldn't risk that one, but we're very confident he'll be fit for the weekend.
And the weekend back at the Amex, so trying to keep that home form going.
Yeah, and they're all big games, and particularly when you're on the back of a loss tonight, next game becomes an even bigger game, and against very, very good opposition. But we had that in Derby. We're certainly going to need to show some of the form that we did in the Derby game to get results, because they're a good side, of course. But we need to make sure that we bounce back.
You've still got that 9-point cushion. I suppose that is some comfort.
It is, but that doesn't. It means a lot. Yes, it does. Doesn't feel like it at the moment because we're just on the back of a disappointing result. But certainly come tomorrow, then the plans have to be about trying to win a game on Saturday, try to increase the distance between us and the bottom three, and the only way you can do that is by winning games.
Lovely, thank you, Chris.